What does perfect even mean? Is there even such a thing? Ooh, can we switch up all the rules?
And imagine before you see the talk, I'm not sure about. So I'm going to talk about how we use AI Assistant, AI Agent at Malt. So it's a bit a one-year journey, so I'm going to go through that. And before we start, do you know Malt? Can you raise your hand if you know? Okay, so I'm going to do a quick introduction about the company. In a few words, we are the leading freelancer marketplace in Europe, matching clients' projects with freelancers. So yeah, basically the marketplace, the community is around like 800,000 freelancers, and we do around 80,000 projects per year. That's it. Then you know, and then I can jump to the presentation, but just for you to know the context. When we talk about AI, for me, there are two tracks. There are AI for internal efficiency. So it's how you are using AI for your internal employees within your internal ecosystem to make people's life easier and to be more efficient. And on the other end, you have AI in the product, which is client-facing. It's how you embed AI within your product itself. At Malt, we do both. And on the product, we have something we released a few months ago, which is called AI Search. It does prompt to matching. But today, I'm going to talk about AI for internal efficiency. And for me, these two paths are a bit different because it's not the same goal, it's not the same persona, it's not the same skills. So the approach might be different depending on companies. For us, it's different. So today, I'm just going to focus on the first one. But first, let's align on definition. We talk about assistant, workflow, agent, agentic AI, I mean, many things. Just for you, I'd like to share my own definition for you to understand what I'm talking about. For me, the first level of AI for internal efficiency is AI assistant. So it's conversational. It's a bot you can embed with your own knowledge. So you ask a question, it gives you an answer, provided in your own context. So that's AI assistant. We have AI workflow. So the way I see it, it's a sequence of tasks that also include actions. So I give you an example. An employee submits an internal product feedback. You receive the feedback. You can use an assistant to refine the feedback. And then you use AI to categorize. And the action is, for instance, you push this feedback to an external system. So it's really combining a sequence of tasks with an agent in the middle and doing actions. So it's very linear, very simple. Then what I'm calling agent, it's not AI agentic, it's the first level of that. I will call it a guided AI agent. I see that as an autonomous tree decision, so it's a bit more complex, and it embeds a sequence of workflow, assistance, and if I give you a concrete example, for instance, if you have a support, so a tool that is handling support tickets, an agent is something that can really help, okay, what the client freelancer is talking about, going to the right assistance, the right workflow, and then at the end of the journey can create, for instance, a response in your ticket tool. So this is what I'm going to call agent. Now we talk about MCP, AI agentic. We are not going there. For me, it's the first level of what I'm calling AI agent. What I'm going to share with you today, it's a story in 6 chapters. I hope you're it's like a cinema movie, 6 chapters in the movie. So I'll try to make it fast because we're a bit late. So let's start. We started a year ago, and this is actually what I look like when I joined Malt. Why? Because the product knowledge, so I knew nothing about the marketplace and the features, super hard to find. You have a lot of Notion page, we have Drive, and actually when they have questions, they don't go on Notion, just go to their colleagues and ask a question, or create a Jira ticket. Super inefficient, because the knowledge is in people's brain, and it's definitely not scalable, especially when you have a team of more than 200 sales that are just asking questions to a few people on the product every day. So this was our context, and with the rise of GPT and so on, we say, okay, maybe we can use generative AI to help us improving the access to our knowledge. We are a tech company. The first thing we do, that was December 2023, we make our own solution. So we are a very small team. I take an MLOps for my team, and then we're like, okay, let's do something. So we pull a few Notion page, we build a RAG, we use an LLM, and we build a small Slack bot for people to ask questions. We thought we were building the rocket. Actually, the reality was a bit different. Of course, a lot of hallucination, as you know. But the problem is we were not able to detect inaccuracy. I'm not a product expert. The data team is not a product expert. So we didn't really know if the bot was answering correctly, and actually it was not answering correctly because we didn't pull the right pages. And it doesn't scale because each time you want to add new information or if you want to expand new use case, you need someone from the tech team to help and build that. So we are not there yet, but actually the potential is huge. If we make this prototype work, we see like there is something we can do and that could really help the company. So then we decided to shift to a collaborative approach. So that's the chapter 2. If you want to build an assistant that helps to access product knowledge, we need the people with the knowledge. So we took the person in charge of product knowledge that writes the documentation. We took the head of the customer care that is handling all the support team. So she is handling the FAQ, she does everything about the products. 2 tech profiles from the data platform team, so from my team. And Tristan that did a great introduction that was super enthusiastic, so we took him with us. And we created this core group with 6 people, including myself. At the same time, we discovered Dust. Can you just raise your hand if you've heard about Dust? Okay, so many of you. Which is, as Tristan described, is a SaaS platform that makes super easy to create your own assistant and connecting your knowledge. So we decided to use Dust because it was super fast for us. So we gave them access, they connected the right documentation, and then we say, okay, let's start something. It's super easy to access it on Slack. We built the prototype in 1 month. So the content was created by the product knowledge team and the care team. So they were the ones saying, okay, I'm going to connect this piece of documentation because I don't know what about your Notion, but ours is just a mess. There's so much stuff. So it's impossible to connect everything. So we connected the created content. We did a lot of iteration, and we decided to launch the pilot with 2 frontline teams, so it's sales team. It's about 50 people. And we developed in Slack a feedback mechanism during the test for people to say, is it good, average, or bad? And this way we could iterate all the time. Is it the documentation? Is it ambiguous? Are we missing documentation, or do we need to iterate on the prompt? So it looks like that. You ask a question and then it gives you an answer and redirects you to the right documentation. The 1 million question, is it better than our initial prototype? Is it working well? And actually, it works better than expected. We onboarded 50 people. We ended up having 200 people using the tool. We didn't communicate about that. So maybe there is we thought it brings value to the team. At the same time, many people were super interested, such as Tristan, and they came to us and say, I want to build something and try a POC for my team. So in 2 months, we had 10 people that joined what we call the Assistant Builder community and were trying and prototyping things. And the usage was growing again without internal communication. So that was our first prototype working. Then we had many other initiatives. So we are not a product team in the data team, but we thought if we want to make it super understandable for everybody in the company, we need to build a product or an identity to really reassemble all the use cases around internal efficiency. And this is the birth of Malti.ai. So if you talk to someone that works for Malt, when we talk about assistant, agent, and so on, they're all going to talk about Malti.ai. For them, it's really the face of what we put behind that. So we did a logo, we did a video, we did a song. I'm not going to play a song, but it's super cool. And then we did a big communication to say, hey, 200 Malters have used at least the product knowledge. We speak at the OLED and so on. This is how we roll out the big communication. And this way, we really created an identity for everybody to understand. I mean, when you see Malti.ai, you know it's going to help you finding information, or at least overlapping with internal AI tool. So this is the story about Assistant. Just to give you a few examples, it's a bit more product-based. Our design team created a content creator assistant with the tone of voice and the guidelines. And when they want to build a design, they just go there and they ask for a proposition and you can iterate. It's always follow our tone of voice. So that's one example. Another one is we embedded Multi-AI in Looker. Looker is our reporting tool. And people in Looker, they can click on the logo, they ask a question, and then it provides them a graph like that. And again, Slack, Looker, everybody knows Multi-AI is here to help you, so we ask a question and gives you an answer. That's also why we created an identity for that. So we did the assistants. Yes, I wanted to mention that. 40% of the assistant created did not work, and it's okay. Because you need to test, you need to fail. And that's, I think it's really part of the journey when you build AI for internal efficiency, which might be different when you build AI in your product. You don't want 40% of your users to drop your journey. So this is how also it's a bit different for me. So then our CPO, Belen, came to me say, hey, super cool. Now we've increased efficiency to access product knowledge. I'm really struggling with product feedback. Can Multi-AI do more? Sorry, her face is cut. I don't know why. Yeah. She looks like that. So she came to me and said, I say, okay, let's try. We will figure this out. So this is our first workflow. Can we use AI and us to create intelligent workflow to gather product feedback from internal teams? In 2 weeks, we built this workflow with the product marketing manager that was in charge of the product feedback tool. And we created a Slack workflow to submit the feedback. Then we have a Dust assistant that is managed by this person from this team that is helping refining the product feedback. Most of the time, it's not a product feedback, it's a support request. So it shouldn't go to the product feedback table. It helps categorizing, and then it pushes everything to Notion. To do that, we use Make to orchestrate everything. It's a no-code tool. So without coding and really mixing Slack workflow and us, we managed to have a first AI workflow live. It looked like that. So someone on Slack arrived. Here is someone from the UK team. Multi-AI has questions if it's not specific enough. And then at the end of the day, it pushed the feedback if it's relevant to a big Notion table with a clear ownership. Since September 2024, we have more than 300 feedback that were submitted, so real feedback. And it saves 20% of the time from the product marketing manager that was in charge of handling that manually. So that's also another example of how we really move from assistance to workflow. The learning from here is the PMM in charge was the one defining the workflow. And he's the champion that is really iterating on the prompt. Super important for the business persons to be owner of that. At this point of time, I didn't have anyone in my teams to really help people building assistants. So I was doing it, but not super efficient because I didn't have a lot of time. So we decided to dedicate someone, so in the data platform team, to really help people to build their assistant and workflow. And I think it's super important when you grow to have someone in charge of that to really help and coordinating the initiative. And then we did a very close support during the testing phase because it's super important, I think, to partner with someone that knows very well how it works behind the scene and someone that has the business knowledge. So really, I think it's a super important duo when it comes to building such things. So that's it for chapter 4 for the workflow. And then Sarah, she's leading the customer care team, so the people in charge of answering clients' requests and freelancer requests. She told me it's super cool. My team spend their day on Slack asking questions to Multi-AI about the product to really help answering to clients and freelancers. But she told me back and forth is not super efficient. Can we go further? So we thought about that. And then the question was, can we bring really AI into your ticketing tool? Some might use Zendesk. We use FrontApp at Malt. And this is really what we aim to do. Instead of doing back and forth from the support team, the idea was to bring them the answer already drafted in the tool. That's what we aim for. Again, recipe, one champion in the team, in the operational team. We built a simple agent first, and we iterated and did the test as we did for the other use case. And actually, the first one looked like that. It's more a workflow, actually, than an agent. And with this simple agent with a generic AI assistant, we managed to decrease by 80% the ticket handling time for level 0 requests. So it's the time where the agent takes the ticket on the support tool and sends the reply. because before they used to do back and forth with other tools, and now it's the AI that is drafting directly in the ticketing tool the answer, and then it's reviewed manually by the agent. That was super cool, but to handle more advanced requests, that was definitely not good. It was too generic. And this is how we move from a simple workflow or AI agents to a sophisticated one. That's just a sample of the screenshots here. And we really created specialized assistants. One which is specialist in clients, one specialized in freelancer. So my profile is not really visible. I don't have projects, so we really have an assistant expert on that. One in projects and many more. And in the journey, we have a workflow with the first assistant categorizing the requests, and then depending on the subject, it goes to different paths on the automation. And the final step is we create a draft, reply directly in the tool. And then someone in the support team doesn't have to go to many tools, just stay there, review, and send the answer or not, or refine to the person that has read the ticket. Again, learning here, it's one champion in the team that is an operational team in charge of really iterating with the team. So we have this person that is now a dedicated part of this time in my team to really help and iterate on the assistant and agent. And we decided for this use case that we want a mandatory human review and validation. We don't want the AI to throw automatically answer. I think it's too critical in terms of user experience and workflow. So we have a mandatory human review before sending it. So it's really like assisting the agents more than replacing their job. And they can focus on the really, really advanced stuff that, of course, an AI cannot do. Yeah, I'm going super fast. Try to be on time. Chapter 6. So I think it's 1 year and 4 months of learning for us. The first thing is scope, start, fail for me, which is the main takeaway. You need to start somewhere, honestly. Like, start small, start somewhere with people that are engaged. I think that's the key to start somewhere. You need to engage your early adopters because they're going to be the ambassadors, so they are the most important in the success. Iteration should be super fast, and feedback loop is, honestly, it's mandatory, honestly, in the process. Test, fail. For us, failure is 40% of the use case we tried. Don't know if it's good, if it's bad, but that's the number. Never stop measuring. For me, feedback loop is not something you only do at the beginning. It's something you keep all along the way, because accuracy can drop, because you're missing documentation, because the documentation is evolving, because there are ambiguity in your new doc. So accuracy is something you really need for me to track all the time. And it's about empowering team. At the end of the day, if you build assistants for dedicated business team, they need to be the one empower, like getting their hand dirty, going into the tool. Because having a central approach with a data team or someone else handling that is never going to work if the people that should use the tool are not onboarded. So I think also it was the one super key for us. And you need to work on finding the best way for you to scale AI. This is how I mentioned this, our own journey. Yours might really be super different, so it really depends on your challenges. Looking forward, it's not only success, we have a lot of failures, so I wanted to give you a bit visibility on what we're heading next. The first one is, as we built many AI assistants on Slack, people are just super lost. They want to talk to the product assistants, the content, they don't know where to go, because it's organized in Slack channel today. So we are currently building, that should be live in a few weeks from now, one single entry point on Slack for everybody that we're going to deploy on the top right of the Slack bar, with the list of all the assistants, the owner. And as you see, we are building kind of a family of multi-AI. So we keep the same identity and we customize them based on their specialty. And then you can talk to them directly, you can go on channel, you can ping them on Slack everywhere. So it's really making it easier for people to navigate. The first one is I don't believe in a one-size-fits-all approach. I think when it comes to internal efficiency, it needs to be vertical. What's the problem? You build assistants, workflow, and agent really per vertical that are addressing one specific business question. So this is our landscape today, I think we need to go a bit further, find the best ROI use cases beyond the product and the customer care. And for us, the main focus will be sales next. So this is really what we are looking at. We haven't done much so far, and this is the thing we need to really deep dive into. And the last one is we had a bottom-up approach. So, okay, let's build assistants, let's communicate. But we see a very different level of maturity depending on people and teams. And this is because they are a bit scared of AI, to be frank, or they don't know how to use that. And to like really bring together the bottom-up and the top-down that we've never done in terms of top-down. We are launching with the HR team a company-wide training to introduce basics of AI and also bring people together to build AI assistants with us and really like try and experiment. And this way we aim to increase the adoption also for people that have a different level of maturity. And we call it the AI and Builder track that we should launch this week.